So this is going to be a first ride on a coming 2-year-old reining bred stud colt, and I don't bother bending his head around when I get on. I've stepped up on him a couple times. He does back up a little bit right here. I don't mind too much. I'm just going to pet on him, let him know it's all good, we've done this before, and then I'm going to ask him to bend his head around. I want to make sure that I've got some control of that head and neck before we get going too far. So I'm not even holding him over there, he's just setting his nose there and leaving it be, and I am perfectly okay with that. So I'm going to take him back the other way. And he does get a little bit sticky. We've worked on this from the ground, but not a whole lot compared to some of the others. So I'm just going to wait for him. I'm not pulling any harder, I'm not pushing on him. I'm just going to wait. And he's thinking about it. There we go. There was a little bit of a give. So we're going to try that again. Try to get that nose over there. And he got distracted, which is pretty typical for babies. Thinking, there we go. There we got a give. So now when I ask him to move off, I'm going to push his hindquarters. I want to make sure that I can get him to step across with that inside hind before we really get going too much, because that will be our brakes if necessary. It also makes it so that we can get going when we need to. He's a little bit frustrated here. So we're just going to push that hip around, and that'll help get our feet in gear, so I'm not going to be kicking on him as much, trying to convince him to walk out of it. So now I pick my hand up, and what I'm doing right here, I'm not asking him to walk forward. By lifting up, I'm asking him to pick up that inside shoulder and step over with that inside front foot right there. That's all I want. I want him to follow that inside rein with that inside front foot. So ask on that side, he didn't pick up that front foot, he's walking forward. So we're gonna wait for a step, and he's gonna, there we go. Think about it and do it right there. And once we have those shoulders under control, and we have an idea of what steering is gonna be, we're gonna walk out. And we're just gonna keep it real quiet. We've done some driving from the ground off of a stirrup, so he knows what the bump is. He's just not super familiar with having it on both sides. We're just going to walk around, keep it real quiet. I do keep my hands pretty forward on him. I don't want to pull on him too much, but I also do try to keep him from getting stuck in a circle. So now I'm going to ask him to trot. And he's kind of trying to figure that out, but he steps right into it. Not too challenging. He's not convinced he needs to keep going. He's definitely on the lazier side. His work ethic is not exactly there. He kind of likes being a pudgy little fella. So he quit, and we're not going to make a big deal out of that right now. He's still working out what he's supposed to be doing, and he went right back to the trot. So as long as he's not telling me no, then I'm not going to worry about having to really send him forward too much. And I'm going to rub on him, make sure that I bounce around, post. I want to let him know that I can be all over him and see he quits in the same spot. So I'm going to be a little more direct about sending him forward again. And then I'm going to sit quiet and work on petting again. There are a lot of horses that do not like when you flop all over them and suddenly touch their neck or their butt when they think you're supposed to sit still and just ride. So we make sure we do that right from the beginning so it's not surprising when it happens later. Here he's running out of steam. And I'm going to ask him to go forward a little bit more, just because he needs to understand he's spooked. I didn't grab a hold of him. I actually laughed at him. He just saw the sheep suddenly out the window, and he wasn't really prepared for that. And I want him to lope off. So I'm just going to bump, kiss to him, And he got a little sassy there. That's more of him not wanting to go forward than anything. But I'm not going to worry about it too much. I'm just going to send him back up into it. And as long as he can give it to me nice right there, go forward. And then I'll let him quit as long as he can do it politely. There. We're going to go the other way before we run out of too much steam because he really does not have a whole lot in him. He's young, he's not fit. That'll be something we build up to. You can see all the way down this wall, he does not want to really go forward. He's begging every step of the way. He wants to stop. So we're actually going to use the gate to our advantage and try to send him back to the gate and encourage him to lope headed the direction he wants to be going so that it's less of a fight. And at this point, we're just going to bend him down, tell him he did a good job, and that's where we're going to quit for the day. So he still does have to give, but I'm going to step off him here in a second, and that's just all a first ride really needs to be.